lecturer at the University of Illinois at Chicago. I have a degree in linguistics. I've been teaching here for 12 years. The last 6 years I've been teaching the developmental non-native speaker class 070. And for the past 3 years I also have an associated 160 class that is designed for ELL and bilingual students.
What do you think specifically is the one thing that all 70 students, ESL learners, need to learn in order to go into the 160, 161 class? Or develop at least?
15 weeks is not enough to significantly change a lot of innate grammar. It's not enough to teach a whole lot of vocabulary, both of which will be required for success overall in college. It is enough time to get students to understand how they can use process to their advantage. Some organization I think is really important for my students. Things like understanding how we can use pronouns and such to develop flow. Information organization inside of paragraphs as well as global organization. Those things can make language or make writing much more comprehensible despite any type of grammar problems.
And what are some tools that help, other than maybe the Writing Center is one? What did it take away from such things, or did they ever come back with certain struggles that they experience?
Truthfully, I think that one of the most important things for all of this is them just becoming comfortable interacting with other people. That becomes reflected in their writing. So creating the classroom as a safe space, hopefully that extends to the other classrooms that they're in. Talking with the people in the Writing Center about their work, developing a group of friends either inside the classroom or outside of the classroom that they can also work on writing and other class projects with, I think is significant. I don't think it's about direct skill translation in the classroom necessarily. I think it's about acquiring and using communicative skills across the academic universe that they have.
Hi, my name is Claire Liu, and my official name is Lian Lian, and I come from China in 2011. I come here almost 5 years. I come here as a graduate student. Here, that I'm trying to improve my English writing, and also I came to the Writing Center a lot to ask tutors to correct my pronunciations.
How did you learn English? Did you learn English in China, or did you pick it up in the United States?
The basic English I learned from China, and we start to learn English since I was 10 or something like that. Because I was in the graduate student program, we are kind of have a more major class than the general class. So most of the time we don't need to talk much, and we don't have a group discussion. So actually at the first 3 years, my English I don't think that my English improved because there are a lot of Chinese students around my school. I was at IIT, and so we kind of group together, and we nearly rarely use English, speaking in English. Everything changed after I graduated from IIT, and I decided I want to be a doctor. So I started to volunteer at a hospital. That is the place I start to practice my spoken English. And after that, I have a friend who normally just speak English, and he helped me a lot with my pronunciation and pushed me to text him in English. And other stuff, I start to make friends with multiracial instead of just total Chinese, and even my Chinese friends here, they only speak English, so that is another ways help me to improve my English.
Tell me about, I guess, how it's I guess hard for you to convey your thoughts somehow from the language barrier. Do you feel sometimes isolated socially from other people, maybe?
At the beginning, I feel like I'm so nervous to speak in public, And I mean, the more practice I did, I feel like I feel okay. I mean, sometimes people still get confused about what I'm talking about, but I think there's still some nice people that will try to wait me to explain to them because I have my goals. I want to be a doctor. I need to be I need to be talkative and I need to pronounce something right to good at explanation. So I hold that goals that push me uh, to practice my English, even in the worst scenario, like people totally don't understand what I'm talking about. I still like try to make them understand and try to convince myself I can do this.
What advice would you give people that maybe haven't taken a second language or just aren't familiar with the struggle of learning a second language and coming to a new country to be maybe it could be the tutors. What advice can you give to people in certain situations with that language barrier?
I could give some like people who just came from the foreign countries come here. The first advice I will give is get out of your like comfort zone. Don't just hang out with people speak the same language with you. That is so bad because I think if I can start to practice my English like when the time I came here, my English will actually get much better now. And actually, I was just stay with a group together with my own ethnic peoples, and just speak Chinese all the time. That is really bad influence. But I feel comfortable because at the first time I came here, I feel like I was kind of have a social shock. And I was like feel more comfortable to hang out with my friend, but that is not really good thing for you to learn. You need to be brave to make friends with others. Some people they feel like it maybe imply to correct you, but you just let them know, and you need to listen to them carefully. And if you don't understand, don't feel embarrassed to ask.
Hello, my name is Juan Moraza.
Were you in ESL? When were you in ESL in like grade school or high school?
The first time I came here, it was in my 6th grade. So I was put in a bilingual class, and I was taken out for ESL like courses.
Okay.
It was 1 hour a day. After that,
Was it hard or anything, or was it helpful?
oh, it was fun because I was with other kids that were like me. So it was I liked it.
What about when you were put back in the classroom with Americans and the rest of the student body?
The school I went, the majority was Hispanic, so I really came into fight with them. But the only difference was that they speak Spanish. They spoke English.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that like separated us. But when I was in the ESL program, I really liked it, just because I was learning like they focus on us. So you feel like the how do you say it? You feel they were important. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So what about your 070 class here? How is it similar or different or difficult maybe for you? What are some things?
So I don't used to like English high school just because we learn about who's this guy? Helmet?
Oh, Hamlet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we were learning about him. It was very boring, but my teacher was cool. After I came here, I thought it would be even harder because I thought, oh, high school. If I was reading about Hamlet, imagine in college how it would be.
Mm-hmm. What about the class itself? I mean, not with the professor, but the material you were learning. Was it difficult for you?
Well, yeah, the material I could relate a lot with it because most of the readings were about immigrants, people that weren't white. Well, they were. One of the readings I remember it's Amy Time. I don't know if you read it. It's about she's Asian, and she has a PhD in English. So I like those readings because I knew how she felt because she came as a kid too and not knowing English. And most of the readings were easy to read just for the fact that I could relate easier with them. Because most of them were about learning a new language or using the right words to express myself or how to like how sometimes you get rejected by not knowing by not speaking fluently, or how sometimes can the way you speak make you look to somebody else. There was this phrase that said, I think it goes like this: my fluency in language doesn't define uh, my knowledge. I think it was something like that. So probably I might sound right now dumb, but if I was speaking Spanish, it would sound it will sound good.
Do you feel that sometimes people look at you that way, like maybe even in the writing center when you're trying to explain?
Yeah, and they think like they treat you differently just because you're not fluent in the language. You know.
My name is Brian Gutierrez. I was born in San Juan de los Lagos, Jalisco, Mexico. I came to the U.S. when I was 16. That was 3.5 years ago. Well, first when I came here, I have kind of like a notion about English from the classes that I took while I was over there. However, I couldn't like really communicate effectively in English. I kind of struggled. I was working. I could get the idea through after many tries or something like that. But so it wasn't like it didn't come really natural to me, and so the first 6 months that I was here, I was working. I was working in construction and as a server in a banquet hall. There was many difficulties. I could understand people when they talked to me and like really clearly and slow at first, the first months that I was here. But when people like really talk really fast or have like a really strong accent, it was just so difficult that I just couldn't understand at all. If I had some trouble that I needed to talk at work, because I work with people that were in bilingual in construction, and so there was somebody that was bilingual but the other people weren't, and so when the other person was not around and I tried to say something, sometimes it was kind of like trouble to make my idea across or to make them understand what I was trying to say. Sometimes I just try to not speak as much as I would normally do in my native language.
Do you feel that same way in school, in the classroom, or even in the writing center when you're getting help?
Yes, I mean, I feel that it does affect me. I feel that it's not as much as how it was before. I would say, let's say, how I was in school. I was in Mexico. I was really participative. I would say that I was talking. I was different. It was different, like way to socialize with people, and I noticed that in this country, or once I came here in school, I was more secluded, more reserved. I talked less. I still kind of participated sometimes with stuff, but I did feel how I would talk less because I would know how my idea would not get across as effectively as I would like.
What would you suggest to someone that maybe, I don't know, was having difficulty? I mean, you have that mindset at least, because at some point you were there. So you know what, maybe before what you had difficulty with. What would you suggest to a tutor that maybe would encounter a certain situation that you've had difficulty with before?
Well, it probably helps, like especially with people that are really new to the language and that are still like trying to learn. It becomes really difficult, especially at the early stages of it, and so kind of like understanding that the words that you will use in other languages are different when you try to use them here, even when they're translated. And so if I wanted to say, I had that problem a lot with word choice, because in my hand, like I will have like a sentence in my native language or something. I will translate it. Okay, this is how I say, and then it didn't have the effect that I would like. Or my teacher would tell me like, this really doesn't work. This is how it's supposed to be. Or the way I speak probably doesn't reflect how much I'm capable of knowing in the language. But it does affect one's like. Sometimes, let's say if I want to say something that is probably a phrase that's kind of complicated. I'll probably makes perfect sense in my head or something. And so as I speak it, maybe with the accent or not speak or not having really the pronunciation right, might seem like my thought or what I'm trying to say isn't really as correct or as good. And so just because not being able to communicate it properly or as best as possible, it affects how it's perceived, whatever things you kind of say.
Hi everybody, so my name's Anakin. I work at the Writing Center. I'm actually a senior, I'm graduating soon, but I actually came to UIC not knowing anybody, not knowing anything about this place because it was the first time I was here. I arrived in the Midwest. The only idea I had about America was California, basically. That's the only place I've been to. Before coming here for college, I'm actually from Hong Kong, which is a former British colony located in Southeast Asia. It's by the coast. It's part of China, but politically it's kind of like separated from it. So we kind of have like a place where East meets West. So I've been growing up with sort of American influences, and I went to a British school. So I'm kind of all over the place culturally, but it's great because there's a lot of diversity. So I've met a lot of people. So when it comes to like tutoring people at the Writing Center and meeting a lot of second language speakers, I feel like I'm right at home because, to be honest, I am a second language speaker. It's just that I've had the privilege of going to an international school where I learned English from a very young age, and I was taught by teachers who were from the United Kingdom, teachers who were from the United States, for example. And so coming here, I developed a sort of American accent myself. At the Writing Center, what we do is we offer peer-based tutoring to writers. We call students who come in writers. And what peer-based tutoring is that as a student myself, I am not supposed to teach anyone. I'm supposed to provide writers with advice, with suggestions on their assignments that they provide to us. And we give them very basic feedback, comments, and it's basically like a sort of third-person, perspective of their writing. Nothing prescriptive, we're not telling them what to do. We're not correcting their writing in any way, shape, or form. And actually, a question that was proposed to me was, well, what do you do when you're talking to a second language speaker? Sometimes people struggle even articulating or expressing their opinions because English is a difficult language for them to sort of, not control, but to speak, right? Or let alone write. So when it comes to speaking, how do I talk or converse in a way that they will understand? Sometimes I like to keep it simple. So I just actually had a session with a second language speaker, and she was, I read through her writing, and it was very well written. She wanted me to work on her grammar, wanted to go over her grammar. But honestly, the content itself is what I focus on a lot, because grammar, if it's not obstructing the meaning or what she's trying to communicate, I could ignore the grammar issues and focus on what she is actually telling me. That's what I'm focusing on more so than grammar. It's the content, right? It's a level deeper. And so sometimes when writers come in and they really, really want to work on grammar, I sort of steer them in a different direction by softly suggesting, hey, what's more important and what your professor really is looking for is a development of an argument, right? Rather than making sure that this semicolon is placed in the right position, or this comma is misused, or it's excessive. I think grammar comes with a lot of practice, and you can't necessarily teach someone to proper grammar command in one tutoring session. It's not possible. But you can show them how it's done, right? And so sometimes the difficulty is that I want to explain a grammar rule, but I'm using language that they might not be able to understand. I'm using vocabulary that's a little bit too advanced. The way I sort of communicate to second language speakers is that I just talk the way I normally do. So I'm not a person who uses a lot of fancy vocabulary in my writing or when I'm talking, because fancy vocabulary gets you nowhere, to be very honest. You keep it simple. When I was in high school, I used to use a lot of synonyms, like fancy words that mean the same thing. And when I came to college, I came to learn that professors don't care about that. They care about the content. Again, I'm repeating myself, but they really care about how you think critically and how you develop an argument based off of your research, based off of what you found, how you're making connections. It's not about sentence level writing. Obviously, you're going to be, if you are an English major like myself, I have taken, fiction writing classes where we do focus on how to write a great sentence. But at the same time, for the majority of writers here who are not English majors, what I tell them is to just focus on organizing and structuring your ideas together, making connections, really developing, a theory that is unique to your own. We'll call that a thesis statement, right? Thinking of a counter argument to sort of offset your thesis. That's really what your professors are looking for, critical thinking. And I sort of steer them in that direction. That really helps, regardless of whether you're an English or a second language speaker or you're, a native speaker. So I guess that's what I wanted to share with you guys. So I hope you take that away with you. And thank you.
Okay, bye.
If I'm going to America, I'm going to have to learn to speak with a flawless American accent so as not to arouse suspicion. So find me the greatest accent coach in the world.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
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 No. Let's break it down. I would
Would weird
would like to
toi
to
toi
to
toi
buy
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 pay
a
a
hamburger
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 ham
ham
burger.
burger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
It's not hamburger, hamburger.
I'm not saying dimburger. I said I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy the hamburger.
Hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
Maybe we should stop.
We don't quit. We do not quit. Again.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy the burger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
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 The burger.